What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode, a bit of a delayed episode of our favorite and your favorite podcast, Lucha House Show podcast. And then there were two.
Too.
I'm Mars, the voice of violence. As always, joined here by my colleague at ringside, the man formerly known as the Dreadlock Demon. The
I'm the
dreadlocks have gone.
I'm the
It's
android
not just
now.
Renzo that's gone, the dreadlocks have gone.
The android
Rowdy
now.
Rod. Rowdy Rod. What happened? What's going on? We can get to
Oh,
that. We can get to that. But
yeah,
we got a lot to
get
talk
there.
about. It's been a while since we've done a show. A lot has happened.
Yep.
We're just gonna switch it up a bit now that it's just Rod and I. We're gonna have probably a fair few disagreements as we usually do about wrestling, but that's great. That's what makes a friendship work. That's what makes the podcast work, and that's what makes
Yeah.
the teamwork work. So tonight we're gonna talk about CM Punk. We're gonna talk about that fantastic promo that he cut on Raw, and we're gonna talk about Hell in a Cell in Bad Blood. Subsequent to that, we're going to obviously talk about what's been going on with Cody and Roman, and we're going to talk about the bloodline. I'm going to give my version as to why I think it doesn't make sense and why, and I want to try and make sense of it.
Yep.
So we'll have a fair bit to say about that, no doubt. Plus, Rod's got his own view on something that Solo Sikoa quite clearly said when they were up in the stands, and it was put onto social media. Obviously, everything happens for a reason, especially in wrestling,
Yep.
and there is no such thing as a coincidence. Um, I also want to talk about go back a bit back and talk about like the Timu bloodline, as we like to refer to them, a bootleg
Yeah.
bloodline, and talk about why that didn't make sense to me. Um, we're also going to talk about JBL and the adventures of JBL, like going from promotion to promotion, promoting what I'm not sure, but promoting something. And it's JBL, so it's money, whatever it is, it's money. We're going to talk about that crown jewel belt, that made up title. And if you think I used to get angry about the amount of belts in AEW, you ain't seen nothing yet, brother, as Hulk Hogan would say. And we're going to talk about the AEW ratings or lack thereof. So Rocket Rod, Rowdy Rod, whatever you want to call you, anything except Dreadlock Demon, because the dreads are gone.
Android for now.
Let's get the shit show on the road, man. What do you want to start with?
And let's get started. Used to be shit. The android is for some time only. It'll be back. They'll be back. And now it's gonna be a full head. So
I wish I had that option. Yeah, yeah.
that's why I did it. I did it because it was time to cut it so where I can let the whole thing grow like once and for all, and that'll be the last it.
Yeah, now you're
Like,
just poking fun at me, mate. You know.
no, man. I like your hair. I like your hairstyle, man. It suits you perfect. I, I see you with long hair and it's kind of weird. I prefer you like that now. I'll be honest, man. I've seen pictures
That
of
was
you
a long
before.
time ago, man. Long
Yeah,
time ago.
the full metal head dates where you could headbang for sure. Um,
Yes.
look, bad blood, bad blood. I think we gotta go with the fresh thing, which is bad blood. It was goddamn. It was some matches there that just took my breath away, kind of stuff. Really good ones. I gotta say, the Michin and what's it called
Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green. Wow, man, that was fast and
The
sweet.
dumpster match. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was a beautiful match. It was done so well. Like the both
Mm.
of them, like they did so good. And the ending was like, man, Chelsea Green was this much far away from getting
Oh,
just knocked by the
man.
edge or the freaking
Yeah.
thing, man. But
Yeah,
I
that bump,
think,
I agree.
oh
That
my
bump was
god,
phenomenal. Phenomenal. Like, she's a fantastic worker. Obviously, the
yeah,
wife of the Deathmatch King himself, Matt Cardona.
yeah,
Um,
and she's taking that on board in WWE, man.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. She's embracing it. Mate, her character is fantastic.
Yeah,
Like, she gets some serious heat as a heel. And that bump, like I said, and even for me, Chin, to do that into that dumpster on the table, that was like a high risk maneuver, man. Like
yeah,
that was sensational what they did. I thought that match was great too. I agree with you because it was kind of a match like every other match on that card had major significance to
yeah.
major storylines. That one was kind of like a buffer. But you know what? It held its own. It really held its own. I agree with you. It was a fantastic match.
It was a surprise, to be honest. It was absolutely
Mm,
surprised to have that one and just did so well. Loved it.
mm,
Absolutely loved it.
mm.
It just literally like took me my surprise, and I could not take my eyes out of it because it was every single bump, every single hit, and to the end, it was absolutely amazing. So I think that was like for me one of the highlights and worth mentioning out of all the stuff. Look, the Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan stuff. I knew something was gonna happen. Liv Morgan could not
Clean
like
win. Yeah.
clean,
Yeah.
and Rhea Ripley was not gonna take the title away. So I was waiting to see what was happening. It was a bit of a botch, I gotta say. It wasn't a clean return of Raquel Rodriguez. She tried to put like Liv Morgan on top of Rhea Ripley. I don't know if she didn't hit the belt. That was a
Mm.
bit. Everyone was like, "Boo!" I was like, kind of laughing a little bit at what happened. It makes sense 100% because Raquel Rodriguez also had issues with Rhea Ripley, formerly friend Rhea Ripley,
Yeah.
and now Raquel Rodriguez part of the uh, Judgment Day. So
Well, it
that's
looks that way. Yeah.
it looks like that, and now
Look.
extending this
Mm.
feud even further. I
Yeah.
mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Look, like I get it. I get it. Liv Morgan had to win it, and she had to have a heel victory. It could not have been a clean win over Rhea
Mm.
Ripley. That just would not have made sense. I'm in two minds. Like, I'm glad Raquel Rodriguez is back, but I've never seen her as a heel, so I don't know. The story does make sense. It's
Mm.
not something that's way out of left field because when she left, her and Liv were tag team partners.
Yeah.
So look, it does make sense, and I'm interested. I'm not saying I didn't like it. I'm interested to see where this is going.
Yeah,
Um,
I think. Look, I think that what they're gonna do is just kind of take away a little bit Liv Morgan of the equation and
mm,
having like kind of it's similar to what they're doing in AEW with Monet and her bodyguard at the moment. I forgot her name right now. Just talk to her so much.
is it Camille or something? Or
Camille
yeah,
with Camille, it's kind of the same thing, you know. Like it's similar to what they're doing there. So now it's gonna have Raquel Rodriguez going after Rhea Ripley on and off until they're gonna have a match, which leaves Liv Morgan out of the question a little bit until we get to probably WrestleMania when Rhea will get that title back again. So I think that's why they're doing it, and it's
mm.
working perfectly. I think that's where the story is going.
Yeah, and look, and it might be that we get Rhea versus Rachel at Crown Jewel
Yeah,
because Liv's got to fight for that title, which we're going to talk about after. She's got to yeah,
yeah,
but we'll get to that.
we'll get to that.
Um,
What else we had? It was pretty good. Damien Priest, Finn Balor. Nothing to say, man. Just that was a crack of a match. Damien Priest,
yeah, as you'd expect. Yeah,
as you expect, he'll
yeah,
win.
as you'd expect.
No,
Yeah.
no issues.
Mm.
Nia Jax and Bailey. It just it's that they keep teasing the cash in. You know, it's happening. The breakup is happening. When it's
Yeah,
happening, I maintain my word. It's gonna happen before WWE goes into Netflix. We're gonna have
maybe.
yeah, I think they're teasing it too much to wait for too long
Mm.
to happen. I think this is
Mm.
too long, and January is not that long ago. Around the corner, we got
Mm.
a few things happening. Or it could be in the debut of, you know,
At
Raw
Netflix
on
in
Netflix.
January.
Could
Yeah,
be in the
that
debut,
could be it. Absolutely,
and it's
absolutely.
perfect
Yeah,
debut.
yeah.
So that was alright. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Holy motherfucker!
Oh, what
Oh
a
my
match!
god!
What a match! But can I take a step back? The
Yeah,
promo he cut on Raw for the Hell in a Cell, I put that not on the level with the pipe bomb, but pretty close to it, man. That was one of the best
oh,
promos, in-ring promos I've ever seen cut. Like
it's CM
you're
Punk,
like,
man.
wow, like talk about blurred lines. Like obviously there's
Yeah.
no personal beef because a photo came out of them standing next to each other at the ring, which it's stupid. Like, why do you need to release that? Like,
What do you want to win out of
telling
it?
kids. It's like telling kids that Santa Claus isn't real. Like, what do you get out of it?
Yeah,
Nothing. What
exactly.
type of perverse mind does that? But anyway, um, going back to the promo, like talk about blurred lines. Like
Yeah.
he made you believe that he had some real beef with Drew McIntyre, and the
Yeah.
way they did the Hell in a Cell, man, like when he busted him open with a toolbox.
Old school Hell in a Cell too.
Yeah. Huh? Oh, sorry.
The return of the
Yeah.
old school Hell in a
Oh,
Cell
yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
absolutely.
The
Yeah, yeah,
old
yeah.
cage.
Yeah, and I know, Bubba Ray had some things to say about the overuse of a toolbox in matches like that. But man, I loved it. Like, and he legitimately busted him open. He got
Yeah.
16 staples in his head. Like,
Yeah, far
obviously
out.
that wasn't meant to happen. Obviously, Punk's one looked like a blading, a good old fashioned blading, and it's
Yeah.
good to see that back. But it's good to see the Crimson Mask back in wrestling, man. It really
Well,
is. I know that's
moving to
maybe
January,
sadistic,
man.
but mate, it worked. And then yeah, and look, I didn't like the towel. I didn't like them bringing in the towel.
Yeah.
I understand why they did it because it's getting his eyes and that, but That's the first time I've ever seen a towel used with the crimson mask. Like, let him go, man. Let him go. He can wipe it with his arm. Just let him go.
Yeah, but look at the end of the day.
Different times, man.
Yeah, different times, but at the same time, look, this is when the blood, when it's used properly, it just creates effect, and
Oh
that's
yeah,
where many times we said it. The overuse of blood in AEW, which also was back to John Moxley, using it too much,
yeah.
Same with Jack Perry, using it too
It
much.
loses its effect. If you see it all the time, it loses its effect.
It has to be in a pay per view. It has to be in a moment of like heat, like that. There was no more peak of heat between them two fighting for absolutely nothing. This time was like personal, and a Hell in a Cell, like you expecting in Hell in a Cell to literally hell break loose, and
that back, that when Drew hit his back on the steps, on the ring steps inside the middle of it, and then with the go to sleep with the chain, like, wow, man, what a finish! Like, clean finish, beautiful, loved it. So that feud's over. What I would have liked to have happen, and we know why it didn't happen now, because what happened on Raw subsequent to that. I would have liked when CM Punk was celebrating his victory. I would have liked to Seth Rollins music hit and Seth Rollins just walks out and looks at him, because if you remember when CM Punk they came back at Survivor Series, that's what happened. There was the music and they were all in the ring looking going like, what the fuck? So I wanted that in reverse. But I can see, I can see why they didn't do that. But because now Seth's got the feud with Bronson, and I think Punk's gonna need a bit of time off after that.
I don't think the feud is finished though. This is because
it's not finished. No.
No,
because he said to him on Raw. He said to him on Raw this week. He said, I'm dealing with Bronson Reed, but and then he nudged him like, I'm coming for you too.
Yeah, not just that. Like, did CM Punk? No, we're talking about CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. I don't think the feud is finished. It's not, because if you see
it has to be Hell in a Cell. They can't get past Hell in a Cell.
The problem is like Drew is still he kind of was happy of what happened, and that's the what he can is a little bit twisted, because he was like happy to what happened. So I don't know what, if not, probably it's not the feud, but something with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre is still gonna happen, which of course probably gonna tie in with what happened with Seth Rollins, because that's still going on.
But I think that'll take away from Hell in a Cell, because Hell in a Cell is supposed to be the end. That's it. That's the bottom line, if I can quote the famous wrestler from the past.
That's true. That's true.
But in terms of a match, man, like,
the longest match of the night, 31 minutes.
10 out of 10, man. 10 out of 10.
The best match of the night.
Best way to open it too. Like, it couldn't be the main event for obvious reasons, but best way to open the pay-per-view.
Like they say, if you can't be the main event, you gotta open.
Be the first.
Be the first.
Can't be on last, be on first.
Exactly. Every single time, and it's just as much responsibility to start the start the pay-per-view to finish the pay-per-view. That's a big responsibility. And CM Punk and Drew McIntyre just delivered. It couldn't be it didn't fall short of anything. The people was waiting for this to go like crazy, and they went crazy. So fucking awesome match of the night. And then we got the last match of the night, which was the both of the entrance, which kind of pisses me off, because what I would have loved the band to do is just do like 10 seconds at the beginning of the music, and then Kotaro's music to hit, and then they continue. But they went for too long, and people was like, what's happening? And then they start Kotaro's music. It's like, what? It made no sense. And then they tried to play on top. Nothing worked. And then with Roman Reigns, that was not live music. You could tell it was not live music.
They weren't even playing it. Yeah.
Or like, what? You got the whole harmonic there. Why don't you just let him play live? What's the problem with that? It just killed the whole momentum of that entrance, which would have been.
Yeah, it was an interesting choice to make them like such big entrances. I mean, it's not that was like WrestleMania type entrances. I don't know if that was needed.
Well, with the band, it's just because that band not long ago is the band from there. From the college down, the college, and on top of that, they just used it not long ago, so it was like kind of perfect timing to use it. With Roman Reigns, but it's understandable because Roman Reigns is the return of Roman Reigns, so it kind of makes sense. And also, it's like it just makes you clear which are the two wrestlers that carry the company. Just
absolutely. I mean, that's clear as day. Like, we didn't need.
Well, we didn't need a marching band. Talking about entrances before I forget. What about Dirty Dom's entrance?
Oh yeah!
Oh man, my God! The lowrider.
You're talking to You're talking to a muscle car guy, man. Like I love that shit. Low riders,
Oh my
man. Come on,
god!
that's gold, mate.
But that
That's
was
gold.
just looking at
Mm.
Eddie Guerrero. I don't know
Yeah.
if a few people would have shed a tear in that
Mm.
moment because I was
Yeah.
like Eddie Guerrero's entrance, man, with China next
Yeah.
to him. But goddamn, what an entrance, man! You know what I'm waiting for? Rhea Ripley started doing entrances with a fucking with a Harley Davidson, man. I can't wait for that.
Yeah. I don't even know if she can ride, man.
Oh, I'm pretty sure she will learn because I'm just seeing a style of like Undertaker kind of when Undertaker was the it was American Badass. Was
Yeah,
that one?
American Badass.
The
Yeah,
American
yeah.
Badass, which that
Mm.
was one of my favorite characters he had,
Yeah.
and he used to do with the motorbike. Ah, man, I can't wait for Rhea to do something like that. Anyways, going back to the Bloodline. Look, in terms of a match, you couldn't expect anything less. You know, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns coexisting in a really good way, which was surprisingly. Cody Rhodes
Mm.
giving the tag to Roman Reigns from the beginning. I was not expecting that. I was expecting more of a like back and forward,
Mm.
which it didn't happen. The people as was asking for Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes gave it to them,
Yeah.
which it was a really good like babyface kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then and Roman just killed, man. He looks shredded than ever. He just looks fucking.
Oh, he, mate.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Best shape I've seen him in, man. And he's always in good shape, but that's the best shape I've seen him in.
Yeah,
Like he was cut, man.
100%. He was just
Yeah.
cut. He looked good, and he looked good on the ring as well. He
Mm.
looked really well, and it's good. Hats off to Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu because they didn't fall short. They did a really good job,
No.
man.
No, they did a great job. They did a good job. I like the ending. I like Jimmy Uso coming out.
Yeah,
It's good to see him back. And the you know, when they walk out and they start beating on Cody Rhodes and Jimmy's like, "Hey, you gave me your word," and they go back and they help him out.
yeah.
And then obviously, you know, the man comes
And
out,
then,
the final
and
boss,
then, hang on.
the final boss.
And then, no one was expecting it. I'll be honest. There was rumors, but no one expected
There
it.
was rumors because he was in the same city.
But there was
So-
just rumors. Like this was just like
And Pat McAfee mentioned something.
Pat McAfee mentioned something, and then Cody Rhodes says something as well.
Mm.
And the Pat McAfee says like
Yeah,
something will happen about blood. They're just gonna
Mm.
tell you what is this going.
yeah,
When the music hits people just went shit. They forgot the Rock is a heel. They forgot.
yeah.
These people were nuts
Yeah.
crazy. And the Rock didn't say a single word. Single freaking word. The only thing he says 1, 2, 3, and the music hits
And then-
again and he leaves.
And then the throat slit, and he slit his throat.
Yeah. Now,
That gesture.
after that, two things happen simultaneously,
Mm-hmm.
which have massive repercussions of what's going to happen later on. One, KO attacking Cody Rhodes on
We'll get
the
to
back.
that.
One,
about
that's
the other
one.
thing.
That's one. That's one. We're gonna talk about. But the 5-minute cap promo that the Rock cuts from the moment he leaves the stage to when he
Yeah, saw that.
takes on his truck and leaves. That ties in with another thing that happened, which is Solo Sikoa talking to one of the fans. Now, let's talk about the fan thing first, which because ties in with what the Rock said. So, what the Rock said, fuck, that came out naturally.
What the Rock gestured. Yeah.
So, Solo Sikoa is there, and Solo Sikoa is laughing. That's one thing. Solo Sikoa is laughing. They left the stage, but Solo Sikoa was laughing, saying, "This is all part of the plan," which, in my thoughts, is what I said a while ago. That this is all the Rock's plan. This has been the Rock, being the puppeteer behind Solo Sikoa moves and the whole Samoa move to take over the Roman Reigns. Why? Because I always said it. We need the feud from Roman Reigns and The Rock to be real. At the moment, there was no reason at WrestleMania for them to go for the head of the table. There was no reason. It was just cousin on cousin for no reason. Which we're glad that they changed the fucking direction of it and they gave us one of the best WrestleManias we've seen in a long, long, long time. But and now it makes sense because Roman Reigns is a face. He's no longer a heel, but The Rock is the heel. So when it now makes sense because now you're gonna see why you doing this to me. Why you doing this? Why you took Solo Sikoa? Why you took Jey Uso? Why you took Paul Heyman out? And that's with The Rock behind scenes. And that's the thing. It's perfect because The Rock doesn't need to wrestle until WrestleMania. He doesn't need to wrestle. He can hold on until WrestleMania. And also, we gotta remember what The Rock said to Cody Rhodes. He says,
Oh
"Your
yeah,
story with Roman Reigns finished, but with me, it's just starting, and he's the final boss." So it's a lot of things could go to WrestleMania. What are your thoughts on this? And counting what The Rock said on the way back, which one of the main things he said to me was like, "Too much bullshit has been going on for too long in here. I don't like it. Things are gonna change." And that's
that's
kind of
right.
the main thing he got stuck with me. What are your thoughts on all this?
My interpretation of what Solo Sikoa said was that yeah, this is part of the plan, but not a plan that The Rock's behind. The Rock's not behind anybody, in my view. The Rock's The Rock. He's like a lone wolf. He stands alone. Solo's reference to me
Mm,
meant that because if you remember, he was like egging Roman Reigns and Cody on, like, come on, team up. Like, you got to trust him because the other two have let you down. You got to trust him.
mm,
I think his plan was for what happened to happen, like for Cody to team up with Roman and for The Rock to see that. And when The Rock saw that, that's when he would come back and say, no, this is bullshit. This isn't happening. This is like, they're rivals. They're not meant to be tagging together. What are they doing teaming up? What are they doing having each other's back? And that's why when Rock came out and counted to three, there was three people in that ring. There was Jey Uso, there was Roman Reigns, and there was Cody Rhodes. He said 1, 2, 3, and then he did the throat slitting gesture, which to me meant he's going to get all three of them. And when Solo said that's all part of the plan, well, this was my plan. I got them to that position because I knew Rock would not have a bar of this, and he'd come in clean house. That's my interpretation of it.
I like it. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna repeat it.
Mm,
I like the
mm,
interpretation of that
mm,
100%. I like the
yeah.
interpretation of him being the one just pulling the strings to make her break loose.
And I
Um,
think that's the bullshit that Rock was referring to in his promo that he cut for
yeah,
social media.
that would make that makes
What
sense.
about the Stone Cold reference when he was talking about Stone Cold when he was on the truck? I don't know if that was coincidence, but you know,
Yeah, it's
oh
always
man, I'd love to see them go around one more time.
this Stone
Um,
Cold is not in shape, man. His knees, I think they won't
no,
give.
but don't you know what Stone Cold said a few months ago? He said, he goes, I'd love to go to WrestleMania, but I'm not leaving Nevada. But WrestleMania's in Nevada.
Ah, that's true. The Rock and then a
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
Anyway, but we digress. We digress.
That'll be difficult.
But can I just take a step back, right?
Go for
Because
it.
I want to talk about not making sense.
Let's not
I
make
want to talk
sense.
about trying to make sense of something.
Okay.
But I need to go way. I need to go way back, right?
All right.
I need to go way back.
How back?
I want to talk about, and I'm trying. I've got notes. I made notes,
I
so I
know you
come
have.
prepared. But the only problem is, I did my notes while I was watching Raw, and while I was watching Bad Blood. So I don't know if I can even read my own notes.
Fair enough.
But look, let's start this way, right? The bloodline, the new bloodline,
Yep.
the bootleg bloodline, the TMU bloodline, to me has never made sense at all. Never, never. Bringing Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa in made no sense. Firstly, they're not Samoan.
Yep.
Secondly, they're Tongan.
Yep.
Thirdly, they're not blood related. I know The Rock and Roman Reigns and the Usos, they're not blood related, but their families have a blood oath that dates way back.
Mm.
That doesn't happen with Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. I understand the connection. I do. Haku and the Tonga kid, who's actually Samoan. And, you know, I understand that. But it made no sense that they'd bring in some Tongans to a Samoan bloodline. I've got how the bloodline worked with Umaga and things like that, but I just can't read my own writing.
Yeah, fair enough.
But, and also, with the greatest of respect, and obviously we're not in ring performers, and it takes a hell of a lot of experience and like dedication and hard work and stamina to do this.
Yep.
But with the greatest of respect, Tangaloa is not up to WWE standards, in my view. In fact, I think the WWE is protecting Tangaloa. I mean, I didn't really pay much attention to the ladder match this past week, but if you look at the SmackDown before Bad Blood, Tonga, there was like a 6-man tag match. It was Tangaloa, Tamatonga, Jacob Fatu against I can't remember who.
Yeah.
And Tangaloa spent very little time actually in the ring during that 6-man tag. At one stage, Jacob Fatu was in trouble and looking to tag. Tangaloa was the only one there on the apron and the closest person to Jacob Fatu. But then Tamatonga appears further away, and Tongaloa jumps off the apron, and Fatu tags Tama Tonga.
Yep.
So I think they're protecting him. We've seen him. He doesn't. His punches are soft. His selling is bad, like really bad.
Yep.
So I don't understand why they brought them in, which leads me to my next point. I don't understand why Cody Rhodes is helping Roman Reigns rebuild that bloodline that were his arch enemies for like 2 years. They made his life a living hell for 2 years. Why is he helping them rebuild that same bloodline? That makes no sense at all.
No, but he's not
Where it
helping. That's
does
the
make-
thing.
He's helping. He's helping. He brought Jimmy Uso came out to help them. He's helping them. He's helping them to get rid of the new bloodline. But getting rid of the new bloodline means bringing the old bloodline back, and they're his arch rivals. He really has no real beef with the Tumu bloodline.
Yeah, but that's go back to remember what he said before he signed the contract?
Yeah.
When he said, I'm done. I got
Yeah.
nothing to do with
So
them.
he should be done. He shouldn't even sign that contract. He shouldn't be in
But
that
he got
fight.
forced into it. He got
He
forced
didn't.
to sign the contract.
He could have walked away. This is the bloodline. This
That's
is
true.
an internal bloodline issue, mate. This is an internal bloodline issue. This is for them to sort out amongst themselves. It makes no sense. The only way I can make sense of it, and taking into account what occurred in the parking lot with KO and Cody Rhodes, where KO beat down Cody Rhodes, is that this story relates more to KO's heel turn. Because KO is all of us. KO is what I just said. KO is like, what the fuck is going on? Why are you helping the bloodline get back together when they made all our lives a living hell? Why are you doing this? Look at the bigger picture. And what does this all lead to, in my view? Survivor Series War Games.
Okay. I do
That's
understand. I do understand.
And before I forget, KO, this is the KO turn, but it won't be long before Randy Orton turns heel too, because Randy Orton's a heel. Randy Orton works better as a heel. The Apex Predator, the Legend Killer,
100%.
all heels. He's a heel.
Yeah.
So this will lead to him turning as well, because KO will get in his ear and go, what the hell? What are you doing? Why are you supporting this? And don't forget what happened on SmackDown a couple of weeks ago when KO said to Cody, do me a favor, stay out of this. Do not come to the ring. And as soon as he goes away, Randy Orton says, hey, if we're in trouble, you come down. So he double crossed KO in that.
Yeah. Look.
But,
I'm
you know,
going back-
what do you think?
I'm going back to something that I saw or heard. The actual Cody Rhodes is not the superhero we all believe, but it's actually the villain in all this. Because, start thinking back.
Interesting.
He brought Jay Uso into Raw,
Yep.
knowing that KO had problems with them. He gave a shot to the title to KO when KO wasn't ready, to make him look shit. So if you look at it properly, Cody Rhodes is been putting down KO for a long time and doing a lot of villain stuff that looks like a face, but he's not.
By giving him the title shot and beating him.
Exactly. So what it looked like this is, and now we're turning the KO like turning heel. I think this is all's gonna go towards Cody Rhodes turning heel. Because we got Roman Reigns as a face, which it makes no sense to have two faces top of the ladder.
No.
So for me, this whole time, and I said it one time, do you remember when Cody Rhodes started to come into the ring with a black suit? And I said, hey, this is something there. Cody Rhodes, when he turned heel in AEW, he's starting to wear black suits. He's starting to use red colors and black suit. So he's turning. He was turning before he went to WrestleMania. So he's been doing it slowly, but behind everyone else. Everyone thinking, oh, this is the great face all the time. He's not. He's actually the heel. He's just been playing it in such a good way.
But do you agree that he can't turn face until after WrestleMania? He's got there's
can't
too
turn heel.
much stuff going on. He can't turn heel. Sorry, yeah,
But that's
he
what I'm
can't turn
saying.
heel
It's
till
a,
after
it's a slow
WrestleMania.
trip. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He's
It's
a
slow
villain.
burn, like slow
He's a
cook, like
villain.
always. Yeah.
He's a full villain. He's not a super. That's what I'm saying. It's not about heel or face. We're talking about superhero or villain.
Yeah,
You know, he's a villain. He's been the villain the
yeah. I
whole
see the
time.
distinction. Yeah.
He's been
Oh, look, I don't disagree with you. I don't.
and he's continued doing it because he's done it same same.
Mm.
He's like he's done it to Randy Orton. Like he's doing it to everyone. You know, he's teaming up with. Why is he teaming up with Roman Reigns? You said it. He could have walked away, but he didn't. So, is it really something to do with that? He's a villain. It's something to do with The Rock. Is it Cody Rhodes actually working with The Rock? Because remember,
well, no, I wouldn't have thought that. Because
we don't know, and this is the one thing I always said it. We don't fucking know what The Rock said to Cody Rhodes before Cody Rhodes turned down.
what he gave him back. We don't know what he gave him back.
Exactly. We don't know what he said to him in the ear before he turned down and let The Rock come into the ring to face Roman Reigns.
That's right.
Like he said, I've been talking to someone, I've been taking advice, and now I'm not going to for. And then he goes for the title when he says he's not going to go for the title when The Rock was already in the picture. So is he actually working alone all this time? I don't think so. I think Cody Rhodes is, like I said, he's a villain. He's been playing the card so well that by the time we realize, we were like, oh shit, he was right in our faces the whole time. So
Maybe.
I think that's where
But he's got to finish. He's obviously got to finish that storyline with The Rock, and that's probably going to be at WrestleMania.
Is it gonna finish the story with The Rock? That's it gonna finish with The Rock? Like The Rock's not gonna retire anytime soon. Not that we know. So that's a need to.
Or do you
finish with
think?
The Rock?
Okay. Do you think that maybe he's, like you said, what The Rock told him, and what he said, this isn't over, is because that heel turn will come when he joins up with The Rock.
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, I'm open to that. That's not a bad idea.
I said The Rock has been a puppeteer behind it. He's behind someone. Maybe
he's the final boss, mate.
He's the final boss or something. He's behind someone. We know we did with Cody Rhodes. Like, on top of that, think about it. The way he also, it is a bit off the roads, but it kind of makes sense. What he did at WrestleMania. Why he will make a tag team match with a stipulation that anyone can come in. Why would he do that to Roman Reigns? When Roman Reigns already been a heel. He could win as a heel at WrestleMania with no hope.
Yeah.
He doesn't need the hope.
But then that would have gotten boring because that's the way he always won. So something had to change.
It could be boring, but also now The Rock shows up. He's putting me in a tag team. So he put Roman Reigns in a tag team. He made Cody Rhodes tag team with Seth Rollins. You know, Seth Rollins lost the title. Cody Rhodes wins the title, and Roman Reigns gets humiliated. You know, and now and he walks away and he goes in, and he goes to the ring the following Raw and shakes Cody Rhodes' hand. It's like, oh, your story with, like, nothing happened. Like, oh, your story just finished with Roman Reigns. Like, what? You just like, you like with Cody. And we always said the finger was something happened. So was something with the finger with The Rock. So I think The Rock is behind a lot of property. Well, it's Paul Heyman more than anything else. But I think that's where we're going. We're going to find out that actually it's being Cody Rhodes and The Rock building all this stuff going against Roman Reigns, which will make Roman Reigns a massive face, even bigger than before. We're giving it two of the massive heels, which is The Rock and Cody Rhodes together. And eventually it will be the Cody Rhodes against The Rock because they will turn into each other. And leaving Roman Reigns as the biggest face, like as he ever been. Even
he's already pretty big, man. Like in terms of like,
I know,
like
but you're gonna cement him in such a big way.
And you know what? That was kind of like a natural progression. Like it was never that he turned face. It's just that once he lost that title to Cody, once we all, like, as you know, I'm a Cody guy, but now I'm acknowledging the OTC as well, man. You know?
We all do. We can't help it.
And that's what I mean. Like, how did that happen? That's a natural progression. Like that was not a storyline that evolved. No, that was when he came back. It's like, man, this guy is the OTC. Like we're Cody guys, but man, this guy's like, I acknowledge you.
As soon as he lost the title,
you, man. Like,
thank you, Roman. Bro, the first Raw after WrestleMania. Thank you, Roman. When we thought we were gonna hear thank you, Roman. Roman Reigns.
But I mean, that's enough about that. I think, and I think we'll get on to part two where we'll talk about all the other stuff because
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of speculation there, which is great, and I love it. A lot of alternative storylines, and man, I really thought, mate, we're getting along too well. Like, what's going on,
Yeah, no,
man?
I
I
don't
thought we were
like
going to
this.
argue
I
more.
don't like this. We gotta hit
I
each
don't
other.
like this fucking
It was not
YouTube
meant to be.
admiration society.
We're meant to
Yeah,
like fight.
you're wrong. You're wrong, bro. You're fucking wrong.
I know. We'll get to that soon. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll get to that very
Because
soon. It'll probably come up.
you just agree with my story with The Rock. I didn't think you were gonna agree with me. That's
Yeah.
what's so weird.
Look, I think there might even be some agreement in part two when we talk about that horrible belt.
Oh yeah, that is. I think it's because we
So,
miss Renzo too much. That's why.
Yeah,
They do,
yeah. Renzo
as
is
we
like
go,
the mid.
as we go,
Yeah.
because we used to get all the
Yeah,
hate
yeah, yeah.
towards Renzo. Now it's kind of just
Yeah,
us two.
yeah.
We
Well,
don't-
Renzo, who's already like, I'm certain he's already gone down to Walmart and bought his first assault rifle. They can be a real,
Probably.
like, yeah,
Oh.
real Midwest resident. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a beautiful house though. Shout out to Renzo, man. We miss you. Okay, so let's see with Bloodline what's happening with the Bloodline and Bad Blood, and let's gonna kind of then when we come back, we're talking about a bit of Crown Jewel and what's happening with JBL and AEW.